Hello and welcome to my channel, Inviting Possibilities. My name is Rochelle and I am here to do a reading, a general reading for Earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, wherever you have that in your chart. And you have it somewhere, so this could be for you. That's my intention. And my readings are timeless, so whenever you catch this is the right time for you. I've chosen 3 cards from Wisdom of the Oracle, and I'll be clarifying with some other decks. And I've let the universe choose a song, and the title of the song is After the Disco. After the disco, meaning after being out at the club all night and coming home, and I don't know. I'm gonna have to see how the cards, how the reading goes in order to really be able to apply this, I think. So I'll just dive in. Um, we start with the fates. And this is a card of things just being what they are, accepting, needing to accept what is. Um, that in the book it talks about the serenity prayer. So it goes, God grant me God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And you're very much facing some kind of situation where you don't you don't really have any control over what's happening. The only control you actually have is over your own reaction to what's happening. And so it's all about acceptance and allowing, um, knowing that it's not going to always be like this, but there's something that there's really needing to surrender. And then we get the yin card, which is all about being open and receptive, actively receiving opportunities, advice, wisdom from people, from messages, or just randomly wherever they come from. um, it's it makes me think of being in oh, Mercury retrograde just has me all tongue tied in all sorts of ways. And this reading is very much feels very Mercury retrograde ish, but ultimately, um, in this process of surrendering, in this process of accepting and allowing what is, it opens you up and it allows you to accept and receive more than you might normally. Hey, Sailing Lemur, welcome. Welcome back. I said lemur. See, I'm telling you, my leaner, leaner. um, yeah. And it's not just like waiting to see what happens. This is very much being ready and open. And then we have chaos and conflict in protection. And so it's essentially recognizing that there's already some kind of situation that you've been dealing with that is out of your control, and that's potentially kind of chaotic. There's some kind of conflict that you've been dealing with, and through this surrendering, through this allowing, through being more receptive and opening, you're able to see how you can jump in and, everything's crazy anyway, and figure out how you can kind of calm things down, get in there and make amends, um, um, kind of negotiate, I guess, negotiate a happy ending for everyone. As long as you have everyone's best and highest good in mind, it's going to work out. And yeah, it's kind of speaking to not being afraid to just dive in and deal with this, tie up loose ends, whatever you need to do, because it's already crazy. There's already conflict and issues. You're already, dealing with your whatever you're feeling around the situation. So you might as well just dive in and resolve it as best as you can. And this is so perfect for this time that we're in right now. If you happen to be catching this video while Mercury is in retrograde, um, it's it's a really great time to reassess, to come back around to things that were potentially weird before. It's a time of kind of bringing things back from the past. People coming back from the past. um, yeah, yeah, and there is this sense of retreating in this reading. When you surrender to what is, oftentimes you do have to retreat. You have to try to release uh, control or the need to control an outcome and just be like, okay, okay, well, okay, I just gotta find that calm, peaceful, happy place within, regardless of what's actually going on. And that's gonna help. And it's gonna bring you to this place where you're like, okay, this situation, whatever it is, feeling kind of stupid, feeling kind of like, I don't know, maybe you get to a point where you're just over it. You're just over the drama. You're just like, how can we clean this up? Let's try and get everyone on board and do this together. Um yeah, and after the disco, I don't know, I'm still not totally sure how to apply that title, because it's like, I don't know, maybe this is where you were at, where, the idea that you go out to a club, and you and everyone there typically is that they're all dolled up, they're all like, looking their best, and through the whole night you get all sweaty, you whatever. The night happens, and then, like, especially if you go home with someone, for example, that you don't know, and you see each other in a whole different light. You're not in the lights under the disco lights anymore, the whatever, the dim lights, we'll say, and you really see each other for who you are, and that can be a little disappointing sometimes. And that could be a part of what you're dealing with, is somehow there was some kind of situation where you thought it was something and ended up being different than what you expected. And you just don't have control over that. Um, sometimes people will present themselves in a certain way and you think you're getting one thing and it turns out you're getting a whole other thing. Um, and that's could be a part of the conflict, the chaos, because you're just like, whoa, what just happened? And yeah, I keep looking at the yin card here and just being open, being in that space of allowing, of being like, okay, this is different than I expected. How can we make this work for everyone? How can we end on a positive note in one way or another? Okay, let me look at the good tarot. get some clarification here. We have the Queen of Air, which is all about setting healthy boundaries and communicating very clearly what you need, um, w- what you see would be the best thing to do to have a good outcome for everyone involved. The Queen of Air, she's the wordsmith, and she's been through it. The Queen of Air is all about, like, she becomes very good at setting healthy boundaries because she learned through experience how to do that. That she was in situations where maybe she didn't have such healthy boundaries. And she gained the wisdom of how to stand in her power. And so I feel like this is you just kind of through surrendering, you're regaining your personal power. And love. Um, learning to love yourself more. It- as you learn to love yourself more, you're able to set healthy boundaries better. You're able to prioritize yourself and what you know is right for you, uh, even when you're dealing with chaos and conflict. Um, and it's also being open, keeping yourself open to love, keeping your heart open. That even when you're dealing, say you're dealing with a person, romantically or otherwise, where you thought you were getting something and then you find out it's something else, you can still stay open to the lesson within that. um to love a person in all ways that they show up. And we're such complex beings, we can never fully know all of each other. We most of the time don't even know all of ourselves. And so it's kind of allowing yourself to be receptive to learning new things about other people and knowing that it's not going to always be shiny and pretty and, whatever, attractive. Sometimes, being human, we have these other parts of ourselves, and it's being accepting of that both within yourself and with others as well. And strength. Wow, two major arcanas back to back. This is a big shift for you. This is this is learning how to be strong in the face of adversity, in the face of fear, and being led. And oh my god, that's so interesting. Look at this. They're both lions. And they're, in both ways with the love and the strength. This might be um, kind of tapping more into your higher power and letting your higher. It makes me think of Aslan in Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, but with love, leaning on your higher power, or it could be someone in your life who shows up, who's able to be there for you, and you can receive the love and the support. And then that person, or this is within you, you getting more in touch with your higher power, with your higher self, that it's leading you to where you need to go. It's leading you out of the chaos and conflict. Yeah. Okay. Let's look at the good. No, just did the good tarot. This is the Oracle tarot. Yes. Ooh, okay. We have the Two of Cups. Loving, union, and teamwork. This is this is definitely this is you dealing with a situation that um you're navigating some kind of relationship with someone. Again, it doesn't have to be romantic. Um, where you're trying to there was some kind of something, some kind of skirmish, some kind of scuffle, and you're trying to navigate your way out of this to find this place back to harmony with the person. And potentially you're dealing with someone that is a soulmate that you do love very much. This could be for my single friends out there. This could be speaking um to a romantic connection where the conflict happened because everyone was being a little too stuck in their own ways, stuck in their idea of how things should be. We earth sign, those of us with a lot of earth in our chart, we typically like control. And this situation is kind of teaching you how to release that control, that need to control, and to just be more open and fluid with whatever is going on. um yeah, and test of courage. Yeah, yeah, this I keep getting this sense that this is very much a kind of situation where, because of what you've dealt with in the past, you're almost expecting things to happen the same way as they always have before. And it's sort of it's the kind of situation where you're like, okay, I'm dealing with somebody and it's reminding me of what someone else that I've dealt with, or maybe many someones. And in order to resolve the situation, you have to be the bigger person. You have to cultivate that love within you, find the strength within you to stand up and be like, okay, how do we make this work for all of us? And yeah, courage. I said courage. Having strength takes courage. I feel like they go hand in hand. And being the bigger person takes courage. And this is in many decks. This is a card of drama and conflict. So with someone you really care about. Yay, we get the Four of Wands. Recharge your hopes. Hmm. Yeah, it's gonna work out because you take that first step, and you're like, hey, okay, this is crazy. Let's, I'm gonna own my part of it. Let's see what can we do. Let's find a solution. Let's resolve this. And both of you feeling like, okay, this is you getting back on the same page and getting out, like I said, getting out of the conflict and the chaos, and things smoothing over again, and looking towards the future and understanding, like, this was this was a storm that happened, but it's passing, and now it's like, okay, we're in this together for the long haul. This is somebody that is they mean something to you. And oftentimes when we have issues with a person, it can actually strengthen the relationship when you deal with it correctly, rather than getting defensive and being like, well, screw you, I'm gonna do my own thing. This is you being like, okay, what can we do? I want to understand your perspective. And just sometimes a person just needs to feel like they're being heard, and at least you're trying to understand, and that makes them more willing to cooperate and be like, okay, well, thank you for listening. Explain to me again, what's your point of view? It's like, definitely kind of some, like I keep saying, negotiation of some kind. So I'm going to look at the Osho Zen breakthrough. Yeah, there's a big breakthrough in this situation. Personal power. Um, it's It's love and personal power and everything like kind of shining through, breaking through and being like, you maybe and this person, this whole situation is just like, once you find that common ground, once you get to that place of resolution where you can kind of um compromise, I guess, in a way that makes you both happy, this is how you end up feeling. You're like, yeah, yeah, because you really love this person. In some way, this person is really important to you, and you're just like, yes, breaking off all the stuff, getting beyond the wall, that wall of control that we often try and hold up around ourselves or have built up around ourselves. And then you get turning in and really spending the time. This is you going within, tapping into that love that you have within for yourself. And we have all these what look like ghosts and voices, and they're all saying things, and it's like kind of tuning it out for a little bit in order to gain the clarity that you need. This is a card of surrender. Big surrender here of just being like, okay, there's water here, letting the emotions. Yeah, it looks like water to me. Her what is it? I guess it's a kimono. Um Getting in touch with your emotions, kind of self-soothing in a way, tuning out the chaos and conflict so you can find that clarity to deal with this properly and be more receptive. And I don't know, be more receptive. Maybe it's easier to tune in when you, excuse me, when you turn in, you can tune these out, but then you can kind of listen to one or the other voice. You can kind of take one perspective and kind of mull it over and it allows you the space to deal with all the craziness that normally is just like everywhere. Crazy chaos. Everyone talking at once. You can't deal with anything. In comparison, whatever this is that you're dealing with, it's around self-worth. It's around you and or your person feeling like you're not good enough. And so many of us do this where we're like, the other person has all these things that I don't. And we end up feeling defensive. We end up feeling bad about ourselves, in one way or another. Hey, NC, hello. And it's understanding that we each have something special and important to bring to the table. We're not meant to be like each other. We're meant to hold the space for each other, for our differences, and allow and receive the their perspective, their understanding of things. It doesn't make anyone right or wrong necessarily. It's just something different, which is good. Um, yeah. So, oh my God, so already at 24 minutes. So much talking. What in the world? I really want to pick a couple cards from the Dreaming Way Tarot. Death. Well, okay. Closing out a cycle, that's for sure. Very, very decisively. And I think this is you being like, okay, I can't control what has happened here. All I control all I can control is how I deal with it. So I'm going to stop I'm going to cut away all the drama and the chaos as best as I can in order to have this new beginning. Because after death comes birth, always leads to something beautiful. It's all part of the cycle. And 10 of Wands. Yeah, this is about, in this card, this person has all these wands and they look like they're leaning over to pick up another one. And I think it's like instead of trying to pick up another burden, it's needing to drop the whole thing. The surrender, the whole surrendering thing. To be able to stand up and stand tall and be like, okay, clean slate. What can we do? Yeah. Yeah, the Fool. This is releasing the burden, letting the cycle close out so you can have a new beginning and feel like, okay, like let's feeling optimistic, feeling ready to try something new and see what happens, see what comes up. Maybe go on a little journey. This Fool has a little backpack on. Maybe you and your person decide to go out for like a day hike or something and just kind of hash things out. um Figure out how to start fresh. Okay. I'm gonna grab some cards from the Angelic Messenger deck. Attention. Yeah, the situation sure does have everyone's attention. All this chaos, but I think it's changing what you're putting your attention on, rather than the need to be right, rather than all the craziness that's happening. It's like changing your focus from everything around to going within. Because typically, when there's stuff going on outside of us, typically, no, always, it's a reflection of what we have going on within. If you're dealing with conflict out in your world, there's something you got to work on, some kind of self-love. Yeah, inner authority. That's where you're going to find your wisdom, your serenity, your ability to surrender. And relaxation. That's right. Yep, care for yourself. Um and do something that is relaxing, potentially with your person. Like I said, go out for a walk, do something, go for a drive, do something that feels nice to both of you, where you just both feel like taken care of and heard and seen, without all the distractions from the world. Okay, I really, really want to pick a rune card. My readings have been going so long lately. I can't help it. So much to say. Okay, so no, I did get this one before. This is Ansu's. This is this person has a fortune cookie. They're reading their fortune. And they have this, what I suppose for some people would be a very appetizing meal. I don't particularly think a fish on a plate looks all that appetizing, but fishes often represent good fortune, and then kind of being feeling nourished. Having all the good food and being in a place. Maybe you and your person go out to a meal to kind of work things out, to be more in a neutral location where you're like, okay, yeah, we both like Chinese food. Let's go and eat and then talk on a full stomach. On Sue's, let me see where that is in the book. Here we go. On Sue's. The meaning is divine and God. Strongly associated with divine communication, this rune card suggests that you need to pay close attention to messages and advice offered to you, either written or spoken. And that is a part of this yin card here. However, this card goes far deeper than mere external communication and indicates that the true insight you are seeking can only be found by searching within. Inner authority, going within or turning in. Oh, learn from and be inspired by the wisdom that external voices or divine signs such as coincidences offer, but also be a discerning spiritual seeker from the inside out. This means doing your research and forming your own opinions rather than simply accepting all that you are told or presented with by others. It also means having the courage and humility to question your own assumptions and preconceptions, like I was talking about with control and needing to see your person's point of view. Personal transformation is about being open-minded enough to search for what is true, even if that truth is at times uncomfortable to confront. Yeah. Um, and it makes me think of this breakthrough card. Personal transformation because of being open-minded enough to search for what is true and find that common ground to be able to negotiate and figure out what's going to make everyone happy. Keep everyone's highest good in mind. So, okay, there's your reading. Wow. Dramaful, but beautiful in the end. I wish you well in this journey. And thank you so much for joining me. I always so much appreciate it. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, wherever you are in the world. And I will see you on the next video. Mwah. And if you haven't already, like, subscribe, and share. Thank you.